Hey guys, did you know that it's super easy to mod your 3DS? All you need is a couple of things. An SD card, which will cost you about $20, an SD card reader, which can cost about another $20, a Nintendo 3DS system, which costs about $2 billion if you're lucky, and last but not least, a PC, which is about 2,000-ish. Gaming has never been this affordable. I'm sure that it somehow doesn't get worse in the future. Ha 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 ha. The 3DS. My favorite hunk of metal that can play video games. The 3DS is my favorite video game device probably ever. I love this little thing more than I love my PS5 and my Nintendo Switch. I grew up playing on my DS and later my 3DS. And honestly, it saddens me that kids these days just don't know what a 3DS is. The 3DS store shut down on March 27, 2023. A horrible day for humanity. It is said to be the second strongest ripple in the timeline after Harambe's death. That just goes to show how strong the impact of the store's closure was. Because the store shut down, we can't get any more games. Unless you mod your 3DS and just download all of the games for free. I know emulation is a pretty hot topic. You should be paying for these games in order to support the developers, and I wholeheartedly agree. However, Nintendo has given us basically no choice. We had to turn to emulation in order to play our favorite games again. I have recently been wanting to play Mario and Luigi Paper Jam again, but I can't find a physical copy to save my life. And the physical copies that I do find are super expensive. I recently modded my 3DS, and I have been having an absolute blast with it. In the past couple of weeks, I have been playing basically my 3DS more than I've been playing my Switch and my PS5 combined. This video is just a little showcase of what I downloaded on my 3DS. Just a warning though, a lot of these 3DS games that I've downloaded on here, I have actually not played yet. When I talk about all of the games, I'm going to keep most of them nice and short, because if I don't, this video will be at least 20 hours long, and I do not want to sit and edit all of that. Okay, let's get right into it. So, first off, please ignore my background theme. I know it's going to be a little distracting, but try to ignore it, please. First off, I'm going to go down the line, starting with the Game Boy games and then eventually going down the console/handheld timeline. Alright, first up is the Game Boy games. You just know that I had to have the Game Boy Pokemon games on here. I've got Blue, Red, Yellow, Silver, Gold, and Crystal. Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal are my personal favorites from this batch because Gen 2 is my favorite generation of Pokemon, so I have a fondness for these games. The next batch of games I have are the Zelda games. I've got Link's Awakening DX, and both of the Oracle games, Seasons and Ages. I'm honestly not the hugest Game Boy Zelda enjoyer, but I still enjoy these games just because it's Zelda, and I love me some Zelda. That's about it for the Game Boy games. I've got some NES and SNES games on the 3DS as well. I've got Zelda 1 and Zelda 2, and A Link to the Past. Some staple Zelda games that basically everybody and their mother has played. I've got Earthbound, which is pretty neat. I've actually never finished Earthbound. I know, I'm a fake JRPG fan. But I've just never got around to finishing it, so here's hoping that I finally do. Now, let's get to some of the Game Boy Advance games. I like this handheld quite a bit, so you just know I had to put some bangers on here. Starting off, we have The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap, which in my opinion is probably one of the best Zelda games of all time. I think it's pretty high up there in the rankings. I've got Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, a Kirby game which I actually have not finished. I love Kirby a lot, but I have to say that I haven't really played any of the Kirby games, like the newer ones. I've only really played the Kirby games from the DS and Wii era of Kirby. I haven't beat Star Allies yet, and I don't even have Forgotten Land. Maybe I should really get to that one day. The Game Boy Advance also had some banger Pokemon games. I only put 2 on here for now because honestly getting these GBA games on here in the first place is quite a hassle. The ones I decided to put on here are Pokemon Emerald and Pokemon Leaf Green. I am an absolute huge Mario and Luigi fan, so you know that I had to put Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga on here. Honestly, one of the best games in the GBA. I have the rest of the games on here as well, and we'll get to that eventually. I have both English GBA Fire Emblem games on here, because I love Fire Emblem to death. And playing Fire Emblem games on the go is honestly probably the best way to play them in my opinion. I also have both Advance Wars games because like I said, I love Fire Emblem to death, and Advance Wars gameplay is literally just like Fire Emblem. And last but not least, I have both Golden Sun games. Absolutely banger GBA games, and I pray to the gods above that we get a new Golden Sun game soon. That just about wraps up the GBA games. I don't have a lot, but I'm most likely going to add more in the future. But for now, before we get to the 3DS games, I have to cover the original DS games beforehand. I have a handful of games on here at the moment, and like I said with the GBA games, I'm going to be adding more onto the system later, but this is what I have right now. First off, we have Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. My personal favorite game in the Mario & Luigi series, and the catalyst for my love of JRPGs in the first place. So you know I had to have it here. These videos wouldn't exist for this game. So thank this game. Or resent this game if you hate me. Either or. The next game is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. For the few that know me really well, it's super obvious on why this game is here. It's a beautiful game. Absolutely beautiful. It's a masterpiece. I love this game. Moving on. The next game we have here is Avalon Code. A friend from my past recommended me this game, and because she loved playing this game, I wanted to give it a shot, and I actually managed to find a copy at GameStop like the week she told me about it. I honestly haven't finished this game yet, but I will be definitely playing this if I have the time. And here we have Chrono Trigger for the DS. I absolutely had to have Chrono Trigger on this thing. I believe that Chrono Trigger is the best JRPG ever made. In my eyes, nothing comes even close. The closest games that come to mind that even have a shot of rivaling this game is like Final Fantasy VI or any Xenoblade game. Totally not biased. This game is truly unmatched. The next one is Golden Sun Dark Dawn, the DS Golden Sun game, and actually the only Golden Sun game that I just haven't finished yet. I don't remember why I haven't finished it, but honestly I should be locked up for not finishing it yet. But now that it's on my DS, I can actually, finish it. So there's that. Oh, Kirby Superstar Ultra. Oh man, I love this game. This is probably be my favorite Kirby game of all time. I have such fond memories of this game. Story time! I remember one time, me and my family went to go take a trip to Thailand to go see family, and I had left my DS case at home on accident. The game that was in my 3DS at the time was Kirby Superstar Ultra. It was literally the only game that I had, and it was the only game that I played for the 2 weeks that we were there. There was so much content in that game that it honestly just kept me entertained for the whole time I was there. And won't you look at that? I've got another Kirby game right here. Kirby Squeak Squad is up next. And honestly, I think it's a super underrated Kirby game. I haven't played this game in ages, but I remember liking it a pretty decent amount when I played it. It's a DS Kirby game, so it's automatically super good in my mind. Mario and Luigi Partners in Time is also a game that I spent a lot of hours on. There's another Mario and Luigi game on here. What a surprise! I played this game a lot when I was younger, and I could just remember not being able to beat the final boss. But man, when I beat them for the first time, I felt like a god. Honestly speaking, this is probably my least favorite Mario and Luigi game, but I still hold it to a pretty high praise and pretty high standard. In my opinion, there are no bad Mario and Luigi games. Remember this line for later. Pokemon Conquest is a fucking fantastic game. I was super obsessed with it when it came out. I remember beating this game while I was on a plane flight to Oregon one time. The gameplay is a lot like Fire Emblem, so I guess this game is really like one of my first dives into eventually getting into Fire Emblem. So there's that. I have to thank for that. It is a super underrated game, and I wish that it got a remake or even a new game. I'm still hoping. One day. One day. Oh look! Another Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game. What a surprise. You'll be seeing this series a lot on here as well. I love this series a lot, so I also had to get Blue Rescue Team on here as well. I opted for getting Blue Rescue Team over Red Rescue Team because Blue Rescue Team had all of the DS features in mind, while Red Rescue Team has all the GBA features in mind. So Blue Rescue Team, honestly, had like a tactical advantage. Not tactical is not the right word, but mechanical advantage in like the quality department. Okay, so the next one is Spectrobes, which is a funny one. I remember playing this game like a lot when I was younger. I thought it was cool because it was just kind of like Pokemon. I have not played this game in like forever, so honestly I have no idea if my memory of it like holds up at all. But you know, that's just how it is with some games. You know, you think that a game is like really like amazing and beautiful and like the best game ever, and then you play it like a couple years later and like, wow, this game is dog shit. Just like the next game. The next game also has that sentiment. Last DS game on here is Transformers Autobots. Literally, the only reason why I have this game on here in the first place is because it is the very first DS game I ever played, period. My parents bought me this game with a DS Lite and this game, which I still have to this day. I still have the DS to this day. It's somewhere, but I have it. I played a little bit of it, and Jesus Christ, does this game not hold up well at all. But man, 2007 me was so happy playing this game after watching the first movie. Now, let's get to the main course. The 3DS games. Big surprise! I'm talking about the Mario & Luigi series again. Let's start off with the Mario & Luigi games for the 3DS. Dream Team, Paper Jam, the Superstar Saga remake, and the Bowser's Inside Story remake. I do not care what anyone says. All of these games are amazing. Dream Team is probably the second best game in the series. Fight me, I do not care. Paper Jam, while yes, it is a pretty poor collab when it comes to Paper Mario, as a Mario & Luigi game first and foremost, it is still a great game. The remake for Superstar Saga fixes just about every single problem that the original had. And as I stated in the JRPG recommendation videos, I prefer that everybody plays this one rather than the original. The remake for Bowser's Inside Story is probably the most unfortunate case here. It just had a horrible release window, in my opinion. This game released on the 3DS in 2019, 2 fucking years into the Switch's lifespan. By that point, sadly nobody cared about the 3DS anymore. That aside, I still love the remake. I bought it day one, and I beat it day one. I still prefer the original game, however the remake is still super solid. Now, let's start the long list of games that I have never played. I have never played Bravely Default and Bravely Second. How dare you! I have never had the time nor money to ever buy and get into these games. But now I can, and then if I end up really liking the game, I can just go out and play Bravely Default 2 afterwards. Wow, oh my god, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is here again! And this time, it's both of the 3DS games! I love these games to death. While, yeah, Gates to Infinity isn't the game that everybody wanted and kind of left a sour taste in everybody's mouth, I still love the game and I've sunk hundreds and hundreds of hours onto it. And I absolutely love Super Mystery Dungeon. I originally didn't like it too much because I thought the story was kind of bad for Mystery Dungeon standards, and I didn't like how the new mechanics were introduced. But then, over the years, when I actually learned how to read and actually learn the mechanics, I love the story, I love the gameplay mechanics, I just love just about everything about this game. The only thing that I didn't like about this game is that it was the last one released. The last one, it was released in 2015, and that was the last time we got a new Mystery Dungeon game. We got Red Rescue Team DX in 2020, but that's not a new game, that's a remake. So recently, the Pokemon World Championships took place here in Hawaii, and I thought to myself, man, it would be super fucking funny if they just reveal a new Mystery Dungeon game at the end of the World Championships, because they said they were going to talk about a couple games, And then when that time came, it turns out that they talked about fucking nothing. They didn't even talk about like what was it? Legends ZA? Yeah, they didn't even talk about that one, which is you know, unfortunate, but oh well. And now, right here, I have Project X Zone and Project X Zone 2. I think that Project X Zone and X Zone 2 are pretty cool games. The second one is, in my opinion, cooler than the first game, but they're both still really cool. Granted, I don't really know all too much about like 95% of the actual characters in this game, because I don't really play many of these games. I only really got into the games because I saw that Cosmos and Telos from the Xenosaga series was in this game, and then as well as Fiora from Xenoblade 1, and then Chrom and Lucina from Fire Emblem Awakening. That's literally the only reason why I got these games. But I stayed around and actually played them, and I actually enjoy these games a lot. I think they're really cool, and I really hope that one day we'll get a Project X Zone 3. That would be pretty cool. Alright, so there is some more games that I have never played before in my life. Legend of Legacy, and then Radiant Historia. I have never played any of these games before. I've actually never even heard of these games before. However, people online said that these are like both like pretty damn good games. So, you know, I downloaded them and I'm going to give them a try when I have the time. Right here I have Kid Icarus Uprising. I think Kid Icarus Uprising is a pretty cool game. You know, Sakurai made it. You know who that guy is, right? The Smash Bros guy? Yeah. I actually haven't beaten this game, so now I can after all these years. Too bad that Dark Pit is in this game. Fuck you, Dark Pit. I talked earlier about how Kirby Superstar Ultra is my favorite Kirby game. Well, here is my second favorite Kirby game. Planet Robobot. I love this game to death. When I got this game, I played it non-stop. I 100%ed the game in 2 days. In my eyes, this is the best Kirby game in the entire series, bar none. Shout out to having the best final boss in the entire series as well. Well, look what we have here. Fun fact, I liked playing the Cooking Mama games before it was ever mainstream. Now everyone is just like, yo, Cooking Mama, that's my shit, bro. But I played Cooking Mama back when it was not mainstream, and you would get hardcore bullied for playing that kind of game. I love Cooking Mama. I actually haven't played any of the newer ones, but the older ones want to make me play the newer ones, so there's that. And here we have Alliance Alive, Tales of the Abyss, and Stella Glow. All of these games that I have never played before. It's the same case as Legend of Legacy and Radiant Historia. I saw gameplay of people singing their praises and I decided to download these games. However, Tales of the Abyss is actually a tiny exception. I have played a Tales of game before. I played Tales of Arise for like an hour. I just have not gone back to it at all. I have the game on PS5 and on Xbox One, and I can probably get it on PC for like 20 cents. I just haven't gotten to play it. The Tales of games is actually the next series that I'm going to play in order after I get through finishing all of the Final Fantasy games. I'm currently on 10 right now, so I'm like a pretty decent chunk into the series, but it's still going to take a while. And last, but probably least as well, Minecraft 3DS Edition. I literally only have this game on this 3DS because I'm going to use it as a bit for another video that I'm working on. Aside from that, I would never ever play this game seriously on the 3DS. I played it for like 5 minutes and I was like, this is horrible. I'm never playing it on this thing ever again. Well, that basically concludes the list. It was a lot of games and a lot of talking. I'm honestly very tired right now, and I would like to stop speaking now. I hope you enjoyed this pretty long video. I am probably going to download more games after this, actually. I have a bunch of plans. Like, I'm probably going to download a bunch of the mainline Mario games on the 3DS. Probably going to download every single Monster Hunter game on the DS and, you know, play those because I like those. Probably every single Zelda game, and just a bunch of other random stuff that I see. If you guys have any recommendations, that would be great. I would enjoy that a lot. And who knows, maybe one day, any game on this list could have its own dedicated video. Who knows? Only time will tell. But for now, I'll just get back to playing Cooking Mama. Mama needs me to cook a pizza. So I gotta go, guys. Bye-bye.